I don't like to be the one to break this, but it's looking a lot like the Poms will wipe the floor with us at the next Olympics. It's hard to imagine, I know. For years it seemed we only had to pull on a green and gold tracksuit to be in with a shot at a medal. But that was before we started penny pinching. Worse still, there's now a push to divert even more funds from our elite athletes. As Liz Hayes discovered, if this keeps up, there won't be much for us to oi, oi, oi about in London in 2012.
The Olympic countdown is on to London 2012. Coaches and athletes have just 2 years to ready themselves for the ultimate sporting glory.
Holding it high, pushing that paddle to the bottom.
I want you to feel that.
But this quest began much earlier. In almost every sport, including swimming, cycling and rowing, the coaches who've masterminded the next medal Mozart are Australian.
27.68, now you're getting on the money.
Trouble is, the stars they're creating won't be wearing the green and gold because they're all Poms. That's right, our best coaches have defected to our most bitter sporting enemy. How many Australian coaches do you have?
It's a good question. Too many to count, I'm glad to say.
Lord Moynihan is Grand Poobah of the British Olympic Committee, and he's laughing all the way to London's opening ceremony. You fleeced us.
No. But we benefited significantly, across the sporting range. So I can't give you the number, but I can tell you that they are greatly appreciated.
I think it's called a coach campaign that
Yeah,
took
no,
place.
yeah, I got that when I was down under recently, and it isn't. The world now has recognised how important coaches are because Australia taught the world that.
Freeman going strongly up to almost halfway.
Gold to Australia.
They were our glory days. Australia's obsession with national sporting success was backed by enthusiastic government policy. And the results were gold, a blueprint for success, which turned out champions like Ian Thorpe and Cathy Freeman.
Famous victory.
But those days are gone.
When we go to the London Olympics in 2012, will we get a hiding?
We won't get a hiding.
We'll get slapped.
We'll get a little slap.
Finally, it will be gold for Duncan Free.
John Coates is head of the Australian Olympic Committee and helped develop our winning formula. What we proved was that medal success could be guaranteed. It just took strong government support and money. Lots of money.
We've got ourselves to 4th and 5th in the world, having set those objectives in both the gold and the overall medal tally. The signs, though, are that we're being significantly outspent by Great Britain, France, Italy and Germany, and we're slipping behind them. So I'd say at this stage, unless there is additional funding, and it should have come earlier than now, we're probably looking at somewhere between 8th and 10th.
Is that embarrassing?
It's embarrassing when you know that we can do better.
OK, so what's happened? Did somebody stop caring? Did somebody decide it didn't matter?
No, they've taken the eye off the ball. The government has. The last significant increase in funding was in 1994.
Meanwhile, British athletes are being showered in cash. $1 billion bonanza direct from its national lotteries. That's more than double our Olympic budget. The Brits now have the best of everything: coaches, facilities, science and technology. But the key change is paying their stars big bucks to be full-time athletes.
When I first came into the sport, you used to have to work and train. So you train before work, go to work, do your day's work and then train in the evening, so your day was pretty much taken up. But now we're able to actually have a full recovery, so we can train more volume, more intensity and get the benefits from it.
The result? 31-year-old rower Mark Hunter went from last place at the Athens Olympics in 2004 to a gold medal in Beijing 4 years later. The next goal is to blitz the Games on home turf in London and give the Aussies a flogging along the way.
So does it feel really good to be able to slap the Australians?
Yeah, I actually do think Australia's more competitive with us. they look up to us and want to beat us at everything, where we just kind of really just stay relaxed and we want to beat everyone. Like, we're not just looking for one nation. Although it's good to take the Aussies down when, you know, it's needed, and put them in their place, which is always good.
How big a motivator is it for you to beat us?
Big time. Big time. You ask the British public, what are the two objectives for the Olympic Games? And the first one they'll say is to see the Union Jack go up the flagpole as many times as possible to get gold medalists and to really succeed. And the other is to beat the Aussies when they come over here.
Yeah, that's good separation there, Catherine. Well done.
3 times Olympian Catherine Granger is Britain's queen of rowing and now earns a 6-figure salary. Along with the cash, she's seen a new sporting pride sweep the country. A hope that Britain may finally shake its tag as a nation of also-rans.
Well, you're no longer the underdog.
No, I think sometimes we like to mentally think we might be, but I think if we just went along and just had a jolly good race, then it wouldn't be enough anymore. People want to see us up there winning, and that's what we want as well. So it's good for everyone.
Australian rower Dan Noonan's hunger for victory is just as strong as his British rivals. But for this world champion, the dream sometimes takes a backseat to a drain. He pays the bills by working as a plumber.
This is the other job, huh?
Yes, that's right. This is the day job.
When you're doing this, are you hating the fact you're not out in the water?
Yeah, but no, it would be good to be out in the water now, definitely.
On the water, Grandstand Dan, as they call him, puts on a good show.
Surging on the line, second across the line, Italy, third, France. The Australians have just missed out.
In Beijing, his quad scull team missed a medal by 1/3 of a second.
So when you're fixing that leaky tap or unblocking that drain, are you cursing?
It is a little bit of a hard thing to swallow, yeah.
Money makes the difference.
Oh, it does, it does.
If you had funds to train and not have to work, how much difference would that make to you winning a medal?
Well, I think it'd make a massive difference when countries put a lot of money into their sport, their chosen sport. So within a year or two, they're the ones on the dice and winning medals.
And Dan knows firsthand the difference dollars make.
Yeah, well done. That's better. Hold it high there.
His own cousin, Paul Thompson, was recruited by the Brits to coach the national rowing team.
Keep shoulders coming through, then arms. And that sequence at the finish, holding it high, pushing that paddle to the bottom.
Is it hard to cross over to the other side?
Yeah, absolutely.
Was it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't want to feel any give through here. You want to feel that.
Already, Thompson and an army of fellow Australian coaches have produced a swag of Olympic medals for Britain.
The Olympics is just getting more and more and more competitive. Athletes at that level, they're like gold dust. And the things that you build around them to allow them to develop and perform, that's what you get to get the money for.
Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave! I'd love to have been back in Australia, you know, leading your home nation into that stadium. But unfortunately, you know, that opportunity never arose, and so I will be there leading the Brits in. But that's why I wanted him to get a little bit more tucked. You know, because he's like that.
Shane Sutton is another Aussie defector. He coached Britain's cyclists to a stunning victory against us in Beijing and plans to do so again in London.
I was the most popular person in Australia, you know, and all the headlines were reading, you know, Aussie leads Brits to, you know, gold medal haul, and, you know, I was rated one of the most hated men in Australia.
And with our best coaches, the Brits now get the best technology.
Just keeping that patience with the press, and what we saw on the video this morning.
Here, a pair of high-tech virtual reality goggles that feed real-time information to the rower.
Go!
Blood samples are taken and retaken. Every scrap of information analysed and reanalysed as athletes are pushed to their limits.
5 minutes.
.46.8 stroke rate.
The Brits are totally unapologetic that their winning formula has come straight from Australia, out of John Coates' own textbook.
Australia win!
He taught us coaching is all. We've got some of the best coaches in the world now working with our athletes. He taught us about the importance not just backing top athletes, but backing squads. So the base of the pyramid, as John would call it, is critically important.
Bloody hell, he's told you the lot.
Yeah, not everything.
Lord Moynihan says you told them how to do it.
I think he's just read all the reports about what we did, but he's...
You came up with this model. You told them how to do it.
Certainly I've...
In fact, he thanked you.
Did he? Yeah, he's always been somewhat arrogant.
John Coates has begged for more Olympic funding. There's talk of a $30 million injection in the federal budget, way short of what John Coates wants. But Sports Minister Kate Ellis must weigh up Coates' pleas against calls to direct funds to more community-based sports, like football and cricket.
He wants $114 million a year extra money. Currently, we fund Olympic and Paralympic sports about $74 million a year. So there is that is obviously a huge increase, 160% increase in Olympic.
Does that mean he's not getting the money?
And that means we have to balance those needs.
Does that mean he's not getting the money?
Well, I can't give any pre-budget announcements at this point, but what I will say is that I recognise the importance of the Olympics.
The Olympics is the biggest peacetime world event. It does have strategic, it does have diplomatic, it does have trade repercussions, apart from the importance to our nation in encouraging greater participation in sport.
So ignore it at your peril.
Although I've said that to them.
There is no question that there are other countries who are getting tougher, are getting more competitive, and are taking the charge to Australia. I'm not for a moment saying that that's not occurring. That's why we need to work to make sure we stay in front of them.
Well, it's one thing to have a crack at your dreams. It's quite another not to be able to realise your dreams because the government was a tight ass.
Well, that's true.
There's no doubt Australia's Dan Noonan could do with a leg up, but he's not complaining. A lack of money isn't going to take the shine off his quest for an Olympic medal. Britain's Mark Hunter, on the other hand, believes he's almost got his medal in the bag.
And what's it going to take for us to beat you?
I don't think you're going to. Simple as that, really. It's too late.
I'm already a loser and I haven't even been there.
We'll see if you can. It'd be interesting if you can, but I don't think you're going to.
Dan, could you just for me go over there and wipe the smile off their face?
Done.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinfort. Thank you for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our Extra Minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes, which are on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.